we are starting kind of a new unit in our writing, and it's the Lost Colony of Roanoke, so you should be familiar with all of the words that you're going to see pop up, or some of them. These are fairly advanced articles, sources, that you will be reading from. But I want you to take a look through, and you're going to see the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Then you're going to move to the next page, and you're going to see an outline. Familiar with that, right? Then you're going to keep going, and voila, there's another article. Then if you keep going, we get to, says source 2, another outline. And then we keep going, and there's another outline. And so I'm sure that burning in your brains right now, you're like, why are there all these papers? Why are there all these outlines? Who's thinking of that question right now? Anybody? No, maybe not. Okay. So one of the things that in order to grow in your writing, in order to grow your papers from one paragraph assignments, we have to grow the number of paragraphs, but also grow our resources. If you someday are going to go for a PhD, a master's degree, and you are in college and you hand your professor a one-paragraph piece of paper and you looked up the information in Britannica Encyclopedia, what do you think he's going to say to you? Adam? Big fat F. Yeah, it's probably not going to fly. Because what you have to become a master at is taking a whole bunch of, go to the library and get 20 books. Look online and find 10 resources. Because what you have to do is you have to learn how to take the information that lots of people have provided and put it together into a good, coherent communication form. So there are lots of theories on what happened to the lost colony. And if we just read one, we couldn't even have a good debate on it. But if we read multiple sources with somebody saying, well, this is what happened to them, and somebody else saying, well, no, that's what happened to them, we could probably have a pretty good debate on it. So we're going to be moving into writing with multiple sources is what this unit is called. And it's where you spend time looking at a whole bunch of writings and then making the outlines. Already some questions. Good. Where? Okay, so let me just tell you, when I write things, I take responsibility for them. This article was written by Jonathan Hodgeback in Britannica, which shame on him, he didn't get it right. So when you are reading these sources, I will put my authorhood. The other one is from Science Magazine. So again, if the errors are from there, good for you for finding the errors, but I challenge you to find mine. Not for somebody else's mistakes, because I would be giving prizes away forever, because lots of people make mistakes. Okay, so yes, Jarena. Maybe. So remember, you're on the recording, so anyway, what we do is we're going to read and outline one. That's the first one. And so here will be so we'll call it source 1. And we'll have our outline, however many that's going to be. Then we will have source 2. And we will outline from that. And your friends at home will also be doing this. And so then probably you're asking, well, what do I do with 2 outlines? Do I write 2 different paragraphs? What do you think, Luna? No. Huh? You're going to write 3. Okay. What do you think, Nathan?
You're going to write 2 of them, and then you're going to put them together to make one big paragraph.
Okay, you're on the right track. Jarena?
We're gonna fuse the keyword outline.
Did you see that written on the last page? Maybe. So if Dorina, I hope she looked ahead or she's heard of this concept before. This last outline, so before you actually get to the writing process, Nathan, you're going to take these two outlines and you're going to fuse them into one big outline. And maybe it won't even be that big. We'll see. But my hope is that you will find different things. So in this first article, you might find, 4 or 5 interesting facts, Nathan, and we're going to write all those down. And then over here, we might find 4 or 5 different facts, but in the second source, I'm going to be looking for some different stuff. So I want to find, Dorina, I want to find different facts, different information. If I can, some of it might be the same. It's okay to rewrite it in both. But the whole purpose of looking into multiple sources is to find different ideas and different information. So today in class, we're going to read the first one. We're going to read it together just to review the whole outlining. And then the second one, you are going to read for homework tonight and outline. And then tomorrow, we will fuse them together. So we got that. We're going to do one in class. You'll do one for homework tonight. So we're going to erase all of these. And we're going to read the first source. All right. So here we go. Now you should always be aware of mistakes that people make. I will notify Britannica that they have a typo. So I'm going to read, and as I read, you should be taking your pencil and writing out what you think is important. Or you can, I don't know if there's any highlighters back there, but you can use colored pencils, your highlighter, whatever. Okay, in 1587, dates are important. Wake up, Adrian. I know it's tough to be here. In 1587, a small colony was founded on an island off the eastern coast of North America. The settlement would have been the first permanent English colony in the New World had the settlers not disappeared, knowing to unknown circumstances. I'm not sure actually what that word's supposed to be there, Adam. The lost colony of Roanoke is one of the most notorious mysteries in American history. The cryptic clues left at the abandoned settlement and the lack of any concrete evidence make it the focus of wild speculation and theories. In the settlement's difficult founding year, its mayor John White left for England to request resources and manpower. He returned 3 years later only to find the settlement empty, his wife, child, and grandchild, the first English-born child in the Americas, having vanished. The word Croatoan and the word CRO, or the letters, carved into the trees within the colony's borders were the only signs pointing to an explanation. Despite the clues, the returning crew was unable to search for the missing colonists. A storm approached just as they came upon the desolate settlement, forcing them to turn back for England. On the basis of the mysterious tree carving, the nearby Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island, for any of you who have ever gone there, is the location to which many believe the colonists moved. At the time of the colony's founding, the Hatteras Indians occupied the island, and a popular theory supposes that the colonists joined the group of Native Americans to overcome their lack of resources and knowledge of the land. A supposed piece of evidence for this claim is the existence of carvings and stones that were purportedly made by Eleanor Dare, the daughter of John White. These stones, often called the Dare Stones, contain written stories that tell the fates of the colonists and the personal anecdotes from Dare to her father. Though they are largely believed to be a hoax and a forgery, there is some academic belief that at least one of the stones may be authentic. Since 1998, the Croatoan Project has researched and provided archaeological evidence to back up the theory that the colonists moved to be with or at least interacted with the Hatteras tribe. Artifacts and objects found within the Croatoan villages that only English settlers had owned or had made at the time have solidified the connection between these two groups. But despite the evidence and many other theories, it is likely that no definitive answer to the mystery of the colonists' disappearance will ever be found. All right, now on your outline, there are, how many? 9. And so we start off with a topic sentence, and we probably just put Roanoke Island mystery. It's probably all I would put there. All right, now we don't necessarily need to do any kind of logical order, because when we get to that fused outline where we're putting the two together, that's when we will organize everything. So who wants to give me something that you think is super important for outline number 1? Max.
In 1587, a small colony was handed on an island off the east coast of North America. So we could write 1587 colony island or island colony.
Good. So this gets our date in, which is, it's always important to have dates on the timeline. All right, what else? We've got the colony island. We don't need to say that it's now or that it's the Outer Banks or anything like that, because it's not in here. Not until later do we find out about Hatteras Island, and then we go, oh, Outer Banks, I know where that is. All right, what's something else that you want to put in that you thought was super important? Kylie.
Croatan or Crow was around the borders of the colony.
So the Croatoan or the Croatan. And that was the tribe that bordered. Did I spell that right? Bordered Roanoke. I'll try to step out of the way so that you guys can see that. So we're kind of setting up our scene. We have 1587. We know the Croatoan tribe is somewhere out there around them. Max, what else? It's, I think actually it says this, so in that second sentence, the settlement would have been the first permanent English colony in the New World had the settlers not disappeared, owing to unknown circumstances. I think it's correct. He thought it should be knowing, but I think it's just owing. All right, somebody else that wants to put some of their important information. Maddie, you got anything important? Not really. Should we, now that we've set up the scene, should we put some of the names in? Who was on this expedition?
We didn't put that disappeared from.
Well, that's probably something we put later, because right now we're kind of in the midst of them getting there. So who are the names of the people that we want to? Jarena.
So John what?
Okay. So we could put the John White. Who else? So actually, he was their mayor. Who else? Who else went that was important to him? Max. His wife. And who else? Daughter. Now you could draw some little stick people.
Eleanor.
Yeah, so we've got whole bunch of names here, so we could start, we could do little stick people in a pretty little dress or something. That would help us to remember. But what was something really key that happens? There's not just his wife and daughter, but his, go ahead. The entire colony says his wife, his child, and grandchild. His granddaughter was Virginia Dare. She was the first person born in the new colony. In North Carolina, there is a Dare County. And so that's where that comes. Sir Walter Raleigh, who was important in all of this. Raleigh, North Carolina is named for him. Let's see. Okay, now we could move into what Nathan suggested, that they all disappeared. Because it doesn't really give a whole lot more facts about the colony. Maybe we find out more in the next writing. But what should we put now? We've kind of set up the scene, ladies. So, Libby, help me here. What should we put now? Maybe moving into the third or fourth paragraphs. We could talk about a project. I think I put that at the end. Maybe 1998. There's what they called the Croatoan Project. And we could put question marks. They're trying to find answers to what happened. So I definitely put that near the end because I don't want to jump too far. But Nathan, you had mentioned that they mysteriously disappeared. Do you want to kind of form some thoughts for us? Yeah, no, that's fine. Disappear.
It does say it's the most notorious mystery.
Yeah, it's like one of our nation's mysteries. Unknown reason. Adam, did you have something that you wanted to put in there?
Someone was carved into the tree.
Yeah, so one of the clues that we get and CRO are carved into a tree. And this is an opportunity for Mrs. Jernigan to use her art skills. So you could draw a tree there. Put CRO in it. That's a pretty good tree too, by the way, I think. Anything else that we want to put in here? We don't necessarily have to fill it up because remember we have multiple sources. Max?
They believe that the colonists moved to the Hatteras.
Okay, yes. We'll just put many. Move. Hatteras. Whatever else you would want to put there. So this gives us a great start on our outline. You can certainly add things to that, but that's our first source. Now the next thing will be that tonight you're going to take this home. You're not going to forget to bring it back tomorrow, right? We're going to take this home and you're going to read source number 2 and you're going to make the outline for it. And then tomorrow we'll go online with our friends who are at home. Well, not with them. They'll get the recording. And we'll create a fused outline. That's what we'll actually write from, is that fused outline. Maddie. That's right. I don't have you. Then you actually have all of Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving break to get this done. And we will do it on Monday. No, all you're going to do is that second reading. So you're going to skip through the first 2 pages. So now, why don't you just open it right up to where it says Source 2. That's what you're going to read tonight or this week. Thank you for reminding me of the schedule. Yeah, I don't ever get you guys on half day. You're just going to read Source 2. You're going to do what we just did here. And then you're going to be ready for Monday when we want to put it all together. I'm sorry? All right, so we are done with that. I'm going to stop the recording here.